Russia has launched an offensive. The enemy has become seriously active on 4 fronts at once. The assaults have begun. The armed forces of Ukraine are repelling the occupiers with powerful strikes. The Russian army has tasted defeat. Footage of their rout has appeared online. Watch them too. While the Ukrainian air defense was repelling one of the largest missile attacks, the enemy escalated further. Amid the noise of missiles and drones, the Russian army attempted to break through on the ground, hoping that the attention of the Ukrainian defenders would be distracted.
In fact, the Russians tried to develop assault actions under the cover of their massive strike. When the majority of our forces were focused on defending against missiles and drones, the Russians significantly intensified their ground attacks.
Moreover, Zelensky stated that the missile which killed Ukrainians consisted of 116 foreign components, most of which were American.
The Russians are trying to improve their tactical position along the entire length of the combat line. Primarily, they aim to resolve all strategic issues of taking full control over the territories of Luhansk and Donetsk regions. Therefore, the sharp intensification of hostilities simultaneously in several areas is not accidental.
This concerns the Lyman, Pokrovsk, Toretsk, and Kramatorsk directions. According to Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky, on April 24th alone, the Russians conducted almost 150 assault attacks and over 4,500 shellings, including with heavy artillery. The most severe situation is in the Pokrovsk direction, but the Ukrainian defense withstood the intense pressure.
The Ukrainian defense forces are holding their occupied positions and moreover are conducting successful counterattacks. For example, the Ukrainian defense forces are counterattacking in the areas of the settlements of Peshanoe and Kotlino, thereby nullifying the possibility of taking the main locations of the Ukrainian defense forces under direct control, which is the Pokrovsk-Pavlograd highway. In addition, there are tactical successes on the second flank of the Pokrovsk front. This refers to the successful nature of the battles in the area of the settlement of Shevchenko. Objective control data indicates that the Russian occupiers are currently unable to implement previously planned measures to create an operational encirclement of Ukrainian troops in the Pokrovsk direction. The strategic task of the occupiers, under the guise of so-called peace negotiations, is to attempt to reach the administrative borders of the Donetsk region. This is the resolution of the so-called first stage of the special military operation.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine today. Join us now.
Russia is terrorizing Kostiantynivka. The city groans, yet it does not surrender. Elite Ukrainian units are methodically destroying the enemy. All Russian attempts to advance are futile. They won't take the Ukrainian city so easily. The enemy is noticeably lacking strength. What surprised them this time? Find out in our report right now.
A year ago, Konstaka, as the military and locals simply call the city of Kostiantynivka, was considered a relatively rare city. People were evacuated here from the hotspots of the front line. But in the summer, Russian occupation forces opened a new offensive direction towards Toretsk. This city is located 20 kilometers east of Kostiantynivka. With the enemy's advance, the situation here is significantly worsening. Hospitals, schools and kindergartens are under enemy fire. The Russians are striking with guided aerial bombs, barrel and rocket artillery as well as drones. A Russian drone, Molniya 2, hit this hospital, and now rescuers are trying to repair it. As you can see, the occupiers targeted 2 departments of the hospital. It's a great stroke of luck that no one was injured.
You see, they hit the curb, the roof, there, everywhere. This Molniya... Yes, there were a lot. About 6 came in. I really don't understand where they are shooting.
Dozens of airstrikes a day, destroyed houses, a temple, traces of hits all over the city. This is the everyday reality of Kostiantynivka. People are being urged to leave the city. Aren't you thinking of leaving?
We are thinking about it.
When?
My wife works, my son works. A doctor in the hospital, and she is a doctor. You can't just abandon people.
But still in the hospital, you...
There's no one to work. And the hospital was affected, yes.
Was it your wife who was there?
She Had a day off. We are afraid. Of every rustle, we flinch. At every noise. As my wife says, as long as there is light, water, and a roof over our heads.
The Russian army is trying to reach the borders of Kostiantynivka. The defense forces are holding back the occupiers while they, in turn, are simply destroying the city with shells. Less than 10 kilometers remain from here, from Kostiantynivka, to the front line. And the enemy is pressing so hard and wants to occupy it because a railway passes through Kostiantynivka now, which means it opens the way to Kramatorsk and Drushkivka for them. In the Toretsk direction, the enemy is pressing along the Mirnohrad-Kostiantynivka highway to make it a continuous front line. The soldiers of the 93rd Brigade Kolodny Yar are preventing the enemies from doing this. Work is in full swing at their command and observation post. On approach, we reported
that plus target. Oh, good. Super. There was movement of one. He did not reach our positions. We saw him and inflicted fire damage with an 82mm mortar. Now he's in the bushes. Now we will use drops and FPV to search for him.
the enemy advances in small groups trying to ride on motorcycles. And there can be several such attempts in a day. How did it go for you? Was there this so-called truce?
There was no truce at all. The enemy continued to advance, stormed the area between me and the neighbor on the left. They stormed us. We repelled them, and during that time we had one wounded. Well, it didn't work out for him, and we destroyed him. He retreated, the remnants were wounded, and that's it. There was no silence at all.
The intensity of enemy assaults in the direction is not decreasing?
Their routes do not change. The same ones are simply detected at the approaches to everything. We observe them at the approaches, that's all. They also have a shortage of personnel because they are already running out of people, even intercepting the pace. They are scraping together everything they have left. There was even a case where they captured a UAV operator and sent him to the assault troops because he didn't buy a drone.
In the battles on the Toretsk direction, the Russians are suffering catastrophic losses. And thanks to the defense forces, Toretsk has been holding for 9 months. From Donetsk region, Marina Smolova, Alexander Petrovsky, we, Ukraine, Marathon United News.
Emerging from the darkness and striking directly at the enemy's heart. A new predator of Ukrainian victory on the front line. The video of successful operations is something you want to watch on repeat. Minigrads tear the occupiers to pieces, destroying them mercilessly and relentlessly. What is this deadly force? Everything is in our report. Watch right now.
This is how the Zaporizhzhia Minigrads Sokol operate. The combat vehicle crew deploys, loads the system, and destroys the occupiers in 5 minutes. We worked with the 128th Brigade and...
We worked with the 128th Brigade. They provided the stream and adjusted the fire. There are hits. It hits better than the factory one, because the distance between the rockets is closer. That's why the accuracy is better.
The warriors of the Sheikh Mansour Volunteer Battalion have been helping the armed forces to strike the occupiers in the Zaporizhzhia direction since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. In addition, the fighters are manufacturing rockets for the Zaporizhzhia Grads.
We collect rockets and...
We collect rockets that haven't been fired. They are also called abortive. We are reworking them from our war. We started in Ichkeria, and here we continue our fight.
Fire, please.
And here in this workshop, work on creating mini multiple rocket launch systems never stops. At 17, Maxim developed the first installation, and for 3 years he has been improving them. Each new vehicle is better than the previous one, more mobile and functional. Everything is done to make the work easier for the soldiers.
Each subsequent one will be slightly modified, refined and reworked. Right now we have electronic sights, Mirafront. We are improving it to enhance performance, installing electric drives on it, to deploy and retract more quickly.
Maxim says that to make one such mini MLRS, it takes 2 weeks.
There are 15 of us guys, and in 2 weeks, we are ready to make 2 installations in parallel. We are brought guides from captured grads. It's a lend-lease from Russia, if you can put it that way. Again, from one factory-made grad solution. We can make 12 of our installations.
The developers call the Sokoli sniper rifles because unlike factory-made grads, it hits accurately.
We use only 3 guides. 3 shots on target, and everything is fine. This is the so-called partisan, which can approach very quickly, deploy very quickly, and most importantly, work very accurately and leave the positions quickly, because the safety of our soldiers and their lives is the most important thing.
To help the guys, those on the front lines, because large vehicles are slow and not maneuverable. But this little machine arrives quickly and gets the job done, plus its accuracy.
Sokoli are manufactured for the military for free. To raise funds, the charity organizes fairs and appreciates every contribution. They also collaborate with international partners.
A lot of vehicles come from the United Kingdom. Sometimes a vehicle can deliver ammunition or soldiers to the mission site, and that might be the end of its life. Therefore, we urge everyone to participate in the fundraising.
The benefactors have already delivered 62 mini Grads of Sokoli to the armed forces. They say there are many orders, and all of them were needed yesterday. Kira Ova, Sandri Kupovka, Zaporizhzhia, TSN, 1+1, Marathon, United News.
That's all from me for now. I was with you, Darina Hutskalo. More hellish news from the front in our next broadcast. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe and like. See you.